It seemed like a good idea at the time, but now I'm not so sure. The idea is that you try to get as far as you can in the game, hopefully finish without dying ever once at all. And I just hit the A button on my Super NES controller, which has turbo assigned to it, and so I had to fix that. And I don't know why I chose the name Saint Q. He looks like a paladin or something. Saint Q doesn't mean anything to me. That's what came to mind. I don't have, this is kind of like if you had a, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, never mind. I think that's a reference to Impractical Jokers, maybe? Human Fund? Sounds familiar. I don't get half of the references these guys put in here. Now this looks really good here. I got some boomerang action. Got him stopped and him stopped. It looks like I'm... Well, it did. It looked like I was... Well, that was it. That was the quest of Saint Q. That's how he died. I can't leave it there. That's just too miserable. And this guy, he's a freaking mess. I couldn't even figure out what he was supposed to be for a while. It's like a half-melted snowman or something. Pretty sure it's not supposed to be like that. And it's actually a white wizrobe. I mean, you can kind of tell, but I couldn't tell what was actually going on with it. And I don't know why I called him Giblets. I guess just because he's all messed up. 117 rupees from that guy. That's kind of crazy, right off the bat. It was like a sign of good things to come. Not the best starting location. I'm almost at the very bottom left of the whole overworld. And so every time I want to get out of here, I gotta dodge moblins in narrow pathways. Which wouldn't be a big deal if I had a sword. You can randomize enemies, but I find that it takes more away from the game than it adds, so I don't really care for it. You just end up with like boulders in weird places, and I don't know, it just seems wrong to have moblins in the desert, things like that. When you have like Lionels all over, like here, for instance, it's just not, it doesn't feel right. I thought about buying that arrow, but that would be stupid, so I didn't. You can also randomize the enemy hit points, but that's another thing that I feel does not add to the game. It actually has a lot of drawbacks. I can never remember which one of these Armos is going to have something. I think that might actually be randomized. Maybe that's why I can't remember. Really rely on the fairies when you're trying to go YOLO. I know the term YOLO is not cool anymore, but I mean, really, think about it. YOLO was never cool. But I'm gonna use it. You know, it means something to people and explains what I mean, I think. What does that even mean? Are you asking for a chat? That's I mean, it's got to be a reference to something, but I don't care for it. Same shop there. He's got 5 kids to feed, not my problem. Who told him to have 5 Moblin babies? That's kind of cool when you have a different starting location. The usual starting location is full of monsters. That Die Hard is the best Final Fantasy thing threw me off so much I couldn't even decide if I wanted to take a road or not, so I finally figured I didn't have any other immediate place to go to look for anything, so I just see where they lead at least. And this, the white sword, I just had to see what was over there, and it's the white sword. And of course that drives you crazy because you don't know where there's any other sword in the game. You just want it so bad. And it's possible that you could get the ladder first, and then go over there and get the white sword. I mean, first as in everything. The very first thing you get could potentially be the ladder somewhere. It could show up under an Armos. I feel like my fancy footwork was really promising. Dance around a lot of these monsters. Makes it look like I'm... What's his name? Giblets. Like, it makes it look like Giblets is going to be a real survivor. Even though, I mean, he's doing all this with literally no items. There's nothing. Look at his slots up there. B and A are both empty. And yet, I mean, look at this. He's dodging animated statues and blocking moblin spears. Taking a safe route there. He knows what he's doing. And then he gets robbed. All that trouble to get robbed. This spot up here has a lot of different, like, up those stairs. This is one cave, then there's another, there's a dead tree over here, and then that shrine thing behind the wall, so a lot of places to check over here for something. And that Tektite in the cave was just the one that you give the letter to get potions. Traditionally, it's the old lady. Any dungeon you walk into that has the first door locked, you can leave the dungeon and come back, and it will be unlocked. So I'll always do that instead of wasting a key. Here, there's a Gibdo with a candle, and I think I could get it. I was thinking about it here, and I thought I'll just save and start. I thought I would start back in the dungeon entrance. Didn't work like that. And I thought I would have 3 hearts, and I would be able to kamikaze that Gibdo and possibly get the red candle as my starter weapon. But I ended up starting back at this place, and I thought I'll just keep exploring and hope I find the wooden sword or something. Or even the boomerang. I'd be happy with just the boomerang. I mean, not that I could kill anything with it, but it would be a benefit. I think maybe if I'd have chosen continue instead of save, I think maybe I would have started right back in the dungeon. Kind of mad now that I Saved. Why am I so obsessed with save? I don't just. It's not like it's not like I'm gonna lose progress or anything. I don't understand the deal with like it. If you've ever seen Winnie the Pooh, okay? Sometimes, oh, this is good. This is progress. I actually get a heart. Winnie the Pooh, all of the, Tigger, Pooh, Eeyore, and all them, they live in like the 100-acre wood, in like a little tree village, sort of a little neighborhood of trees and things that they all got their own little houses. But then sometimes it's like they live with Christopher Robin because they're stuffed toys. So is it like the 100-acre wood is sort of a non-existent fantasy reality that they inhabit in Christopher Robin's imagination? Or, I mean, I can't wrap my head around it. I'm literally 40, like 40 actual years old. I don't know that. Winnie the Pooh. I didn't mean to push that almost right there. That I didn't realize I would come out right there. But I saved on time, just barely. Close call. That's what the YOLO is all about. Pressure to survive. YOLO quest. It's like a challenge scenario, It's kind of like taking on a swordless quest challenge or something. I'm not comfortable with your hero constantly dying and just miraculously resurrecting. So it's like I know that these days they would call it permadeath, and I don't have any other like rules like you can do this or not that or whatever. It's just like do whatever, except I'm not using like any cheats or anything. I mean, how hard would YOLO be if I had infinite hearts or something? I actually was going to use a Game Genie code that I found that allows you to take advantage of the of the up and A reset when you're in the subscreen and you press up and A on controller 2, which if it was on a real NES, then it resets the game to that save, continue, retry screen. But since I'm on an emulator and I've only got the one controller, I thought the easiest thing to do, it's a Super NES controller in my case, so I just assigned up and A to the L and R buttons. So now when I just go into the subscreen, I hit L and R and I get to save out like that. Seems like the easiest way. I forgot where I was going with this. I'm just trying to go to all the places that has an entrance that you can get into without a bomb or a candle or a power bracelet. Just hoping to find basically anything. And this is sort of something. It's sort of anything. The bomb is a weapon, but it's also a tool to get into other places. So it's actually a pretty big deal to get a bomb, especially when you have nothing else. And yes, I don't mind spending 10 rupees for a heart 3 times when I need it like this. I mean, you know, rupees are replenishable. I wish I had a way to get that blue ring. I mean, just knowing where it's at is kind of a big deal. The first place I go with my bombs is a place you don't need bombs to get into. But I got lucky because that Lionel turned away, so I was able to get in the cave. Not that there was anything there, but you gotta check. This is how you randomize Zelda. You gotta look everywhere. You don't know what's where. And if you're dumb, you forget that you can't walk right to exit the Lost Hills. Even though you've been playing the game for 30 years. I have this brain retardation problem with my memory. And so I can't remember things. And I didn't even notice that that says level 9 until I went back in. Darkwing Duck would have beaten this by now, and I'm sure that's true. He would have beaten it by now. And he would have remembered that he's already been in this cave, and there's nothing in it. Darkwing Duck is one of those expert, top-tier speedrunners. That's what DWD stands for. All those expert speedrunner guys are sort of involved in this. They're like a little exclusive elite community. And they really can, I mean, just trash through the game in a matter of minutes if they hit a lucky streak. I mean, I can too. I mean, I could stumble onto the right things, but I mean, I don't have the expertise to take advantage of it like they do. That's the thing. That's the difference. But you can still get through the game surprisingly fast if things go your way. And yet here I am, white wizrobe, no sword. Things are not going my way. Been wandering here for like 15 minutes. See here again, I can't remember which tile. I always try to place the bombs in between the tiles because I can never remember which one is the actual one. And if it's in between, I'm hitting 2, so I'm doubling my odds of hitting the right spot. It kinda drives me crazy when I see somebody put the bomb squarely on a tile. I'm like, why would you do that? You're just like, statistically, it's like a nightmare. It's like living in a living nightmare. Tektites are really bad news when you don't have something to stab them with. This kind of messed me up here. I got scared that they were going to hit me, so I ran. I'm not really sure if they could hit me at the edge like that or not, but then this gave me an idea. I'm like, oh, I'll just sneak around using that. I know that this one is 7 tiles from the left because I just counted shortly before playing this. And there's another one just like it on the next screen to the right. So I'm gonna go do the same thing. But it's a little more hectic because there's Octoroks. So, trying to estimate there. Place my bomb between the tiles properly like you're supposed to. Because even though I'm an idiot, sometimes I'm an efficient idiot. Like this. I waited until I came back to buy my second set of bombs because I can only carry 8 and I had 5 at the time. And if I come back with 4, then I'm getting my money's worth. That's efficiency. That's how to be an efficient idiot. And I'm not even good at math. Like, I'm a mathematical cataclysm. Here again, I always think it's sort of in the middle, or I don't know where I think it is. But at least my technique in between the tiles. In between the tiles, people. It pays off. I mean, you can see the tiles, can't you? They're really obvious. It's like looking at graph paper. Have you ever put a bomb not between the tiles? Like, why would you do that? Robbed again, and then see my problem. I thought I could make it. That was the end of Giblets. That's how he died.